It seems Donald Trump has just upped the ante between Russia and the United States here. He has openly responded to the former president of Russia, Medvedev, who has made some pretty wild statements as of late in terms of nukes, in terms of them using them if forced to. And Trump is now strong-arming and firing back, and he has posted on his Truth Social what you can see here. He's responding to these provocative statements made from Russia, and he says that he has ordered in response 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. He says words are very important and can often lead to an unintended consequence. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention on this matter. That is what Trump states on his Truth Social. He has ordered nuclear subs into position somewhere. We don't know where. He hasn't let that be known, obviously, and they're creeping. So this is like an open threat to Russia of nuclear war, that if you want to run your mouth, we've got nuclear subs positioned to strike and hit at any time. So I would pay attention to these things, because this isn't the Trump of the last administration. As you've seen, they will back strikes even going into Iran, and Moscow's been getting hit constantly by Ukraine as it is, backed by the West. So it raises the question, will a nuke fly, tactical nukes or anything like that? Well, this is a big development here. I'll update on this as I get more. Follow me on X and join me for the live streams. Going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Dabu77.
Shalom. Welcome to another video. And as always, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachash. And next, double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of what people hear or what they forbear. All right, so this is going to be a quick news and prophecy update. All right, where you saw the clip that I put in the introduction to this video. If you didn't exactly know what was being spoken about, well, you got this article here that I have pulled up. It tells you, it says, Trump orders nuclear submarines closer to Russia, quote unquote, just in case. Okay, so Trump has sent and put in position nuclear warships, all right, submarines, all right, closer to Russia, just in case war does break out. So he's pretty much threatening them with nuclear war. All right, and we know that according to biblical prophecy that World War III is going to be the end of the society, and it's going to be fought with nuclear weapons. All right, so that's pretty much the topic we're going to dive into. And Yahweh Righteous, I mean, the Heavenly Father's will is edifying to the elect. And I'm going to read a little bit of this article. All right, it says, President Trump said Friday that he'd ordered 2 nuclear submarines close to Russian waters in response to nuclear bluster from former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. All right, and let's see. Okay, he wants me to subscribe. Not doing that. That's okay. You get the point. We're gonna bring out some precepts now. All right, so we'll start off with Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. All right, it reads. It says, "The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will." So, as a matter of fact, let's go into that word for edification's sake. We'll go into that word heart. All right, and you can see what that word means. Okay, the Hebrew word for heart, all right, is the word la'ab. All right, and it means the inner man, the mind, his will, his understanding, his conscious inclination, determination, all right, etc., etc. Okay, Strong's definition. All right, it says the heart, also used figuratively, very widely, for the feelings, the will, and the intellect, and likewise the center for anything. All right, so the heart really means the mind, okay, the way of thinking. So we go back, okay, the king's mind is in the hand of the Lord. All right, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So most of the kings of this earth, which are your presidents, your prime ministers, your dictators, all right, they have in their mind that they don't want to go to World War III. But Yahweh Basham Yahushai, he's the one that's controlling the mind of these kings. So they can't stop it even if they wanted to. Okay, let's get into the precept proving that he controls these things. We'll go to Job chapter 33, and I'm going to read verses 15 and 16. It says, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction. So when you're at rest, and this is not just for the kings of the earth, but for anybody, okay, there's no such thing as free will. All right, man's goings of the Lord. He controls, all right, what's going to happen according to his will, according to prophecy. All right, so like I said, a lot of them, they don't really want to go to war, but he's going to make it to where they have to. They don't have a choice, all right, in the matter. Okay, why? Because we'll get the precept on it. It's Zephaniah 3 and 8. All right, it is his will, his determination to bring World War III to end this society. All right, this is Zephaniah 3 and 8. Okay, it says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So this is the will of the Lord, to gather the nations, okay, to assemble the kingdoms, right, to pour upon them his indignation, his righteous anger, okay, and destroy them by fire. All right, this is what he's determined to do, okay, and there's nothing that anyone can do to stop it. And he's going to move the minds of the kings like chess pieces around a chessboard, all right, for the purpose of gathering them for World War III and fulfilling prophecy, to destroy them, all right, for all they have done to the children of Israel, okay? All right, even on down to the creation of the nuclear missiles. All right, let's get Isaiah 54 and 16. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get this in a different translation as well. Okay, Isaiah 54 and 16. All right, we'll read it first in the King James Version and then see what the other translations have to say. All right, Isaiah 54 and 16, King James Version. It says, behold, I have created the smith. All right, the smith is a scientist, a creator or something. Matter of fact, let's see what it says for the word smith. I'm just curious. All right, the word looks like harash. Okay, the word harash. And you see a craftsman. All right, a craftsman is someone who makes things, all right, who's good at different crafts. All right, it says here, Strong's definition. All right, it says a fabricator of any material. All right, it says, let's see, it says an engraver, a maker, a mason. Okay, so a maker, what is a maker? That's someone who creates things. Okay, so an inventor, that's another word you could use. A maker or a mason, all right, can be an inventor, someone who invents things. They make things, right? So let's go back. All right, and in the King James Version it says, behold, I have created the smith, okay, the inventor, the maker, that bloweth the coals in the fire, that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. All right, let's read this in NLT. In NLT it says, I have created the blacksmith, who fans the coals beneath the forge. Okay, he split the atom and makes the weapons of destruction. Okay, going back to J. Oppenheimer, okay, the father of the atomic bomb. Okay, it says, and I have created the armies that destroy. So the Lord, all right, he has created this weapon, all right, to bring mass destruction, the weapons of mass destruction. All right, and he put the technology in the mind of the scientists. Let's go ahead and pull it. J. Oppenheimer, I think his name is. All right, they made a movie about this guy, J. Robert Oppenheimer. That's him. Okay, and he's known of, he's an American theoretical physicist. All right, and he's coined the father of the atomic bomb, something like that. All right. Yeah, here it is. Yep. J. Robert Oppenheimer is primarily known as the father of the atomic bomb for his role as the director of the Los Alamos laboratory during the Manhattan Project, where the first nuclear weapons were developed. He also became known for his later advocacy for international control of nuclear energy and for his opposition to the development of the hydrogen bomb, which led to the controversy and revocation of his security clearance. Okay, so the Lord put the technology in his mind to create atomic bombs, nuclear weapons. All right, and now the Lord is going to use it for his purposes. Okay, and there's nothing that anyone can do to stop it. All right. Once again, in the KJV it says in the second portion, I have created the waster to destroy, and that's what it's going to do. Okay, it's going to destroy. It's going to waste. All right. Matter of fact, that's one of Esau. Okay, his name means wasted away. Okay, the Lord is going to use the waster to waste him. All right, and we prophesy of this, so there's no escaping this. This is going to happen, man. All right, this is Isaiah 13:1. All right, it says prophecies about Babylon, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. It says, lift up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them. That's what we do. We go out there and lift up our voice like trumpets, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. All right, let's read it in a different translation. NLT, it says, raise up a signal flag on a bare hilltop, call up an army against Babylon, wave your hand to encourage them as they march into the palaces of the high and mighty. Whew, fire. It says, verse 3, it says, I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise as of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. It says, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Okay, these are the weapons that we read about in Isaiah 54:16, that nuclear missile, man. Okay, this is what's going to use to be used to destroy this society, to devour the whole earth with fire. All right, verse 6, it says, howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth, they shall be amazed one at another, their faces shall be as flames, and that's literal. They're going to look at one another, and they're going to see each other burning in that lake of fire. All right, and this is going to be for all that fight against the Heavenly Father and his people. Okay, starting off with the elect of his people, which is the prophets. All right, this is Zechariah 14:12, the prophets and the multitude of believers. Okay, this is how the Lord is going to punish them. Zechariah 14:12, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. So he's going to burn everyone that fought against his people, the Israelites, starting off with the elect. All right, they're going to burn in the lake of fire, which is nuclear fire. Okay, primarily here in America, Babylon the Great, and various parts of the earth are going to be set on fire as well by those nuclear missiles. All right, it says, verse 9, Isaiah 13:9, behold, the day of Yahweh cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Okay, so this is how he's going to do it. He's going to do it via nuclear missiles, because these people in the world are full of pride, full of arrogance. All right, and they're not going to be humbled until their flesh is melting away off their bones. That's the only way that these people will ever be humbled. Okay, so that's what the Lord has set. He's prepared them for that judgment. So anyways, this is biblical. This is going to happen, man. All right, ain't no escaping this. Okay, and we're just one step closer to these prophecies being fulfilled. All right, the downfall of Babylon the Great, the destruction of the society, all of its people, and the salvation of the elect. All right, so I'm going to close it out there. Heavenly Father's will was edifying. As always, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachash. And until next time, Shalom, and abide b'ball.